Sometimes when we have uncomfortable feelings that come from our emotional state, it's just our feelings are giving us a message. Anxiety can give us a gift of letting us know that we need to check in with ourselves. We need to see what we're feeling and what we're experiencing. And as we're checking in with ourselves, then we have a choice to start moving more inward and away from things that are distracting. And other influences can come and go, and thoughts can come and go, and that's okay. And you can just let them be there. But still, just focus on your breath. And there's no right or wrong way. But you might start to notice as you calm down, going deeper into relaxation, that things start to shift and become more comfortable. And as you're becoming more relaxed, you can once again just scan from head to toe and just check in with yourself. Is there any other tension still there? And you can use any kind of imagery that you might need that would help you think about something that's tensed up becoming looser. Yeah. And moving down, doing a body scan down the body. And as you breathe in, think about fresh air coming into your lungs and healing. And thinking about letting any tension go can help you to just feel more relaxed. I'm going to tell you a story now about a little girl. A little girl that had people in her life that she would go to visit. But it was all just along a road that was winding down a hill. And along the road, she could pop in and see different people, family, friends, from time to time. But most of the time when she traveled down the road, she was alone. And as she started down this path each day, she carried with her a suitcase that was on wheels that she could pull along with her, because she knew that whenever she would see her friends or family that knew her, they would always give her something that she needed to carry with her, she felt. And because it was starting to become kind of hard to carry all the things that were being handed to her, she needed a place to put them. And at first, it got easier because she could put the things into the suitcase and not have to hold on to them as hard. And then she went further down the hill, and she would see the next person. And once again, they would hand something to her. something that was part of them that they were giving to her to hold on to. And for a moment, she would hold it, and she would notice that it was having some kind of effect on her that made her feel less free to just keep moving along on her own. So each time she would put it into the suitcase. And she strolled down a few more steps. 3, 2, 1, and down. She reached to a path that wasn't as smooth as the road had been, but that there was something very pleasant ahead, like the places that she had remembered from other times in her life where she didn't have to carry so much, like a fun lake to jump in and swim in. And as she was getting closer to getting to the place where she used to play and have fun, she noticed that it was getting harder and harder to get there because she was dragging that suitcase now because it was so full and the little tiny wheels on it just weren't able to pull as easily along a path that wasn't smooth. So she was dragging it now, carrying it full of all these things that had been given to her and handed to her that she felt responsible for. And she started to feel like, although she didn't want to let go of the bag, because those things that were given to her belonged to people that mattered to her. But at the same time, it started to make her feel kind of mad that she was tugging and pulling, and it was so heavy. And as she was getting closer to a clearing that would allow her to finally go be where she most wanted to be and be free, someone in her life handed her something really big and wanted her to hold on to that. And that little girl started to realize that her suitcase was too full and too heavy, and she couldn't pull that and still hold on to this other big thing that had just been handed to her. And she felt stuck. And she needed to rest. And she decided that since no one was looking and she wasn't going to worry about what anyone else thought, she would just put down the things that had been handed to her and walk away. And then as she walked, she came to this beautiful clearing where her favorite swimming spot was. And everyone was gone, and she was just by herself. And she found herself still thinking that she had left the things behind that people had given her to hold on to. And it made her feel guilty. And she was torn between wanting to just go jump into that beautiful, calm water, returning to go get the things to make sure that she was holding on to what had been given to her. And now she needed to make a choice. She decided that she was going to pull those things a little closer and leave them somewhere nearby that she could at least keep an eye on them. She wasn't ready to let go yet. So she dragged the suitcase down to the rocks near where she wanted to swim. And she had carried the other item that was just overwhelmingly big, somehow struggling along with one hand on the suitcase handle and one hand holding the item. And when she got to the rock, she just laid that down. And since no one was coming now, she felt like it's okay, I can take a break from that. And now the little girl was able to just put her feet into the water. And the water had a little bit of wind hitting the surface of it, causing rippling. And the sun was shining along the surface of the water, and the way that the wind and the light interacted created a sparkling, magical look that felt so inviting. She began to forget about everything else and just want to move toward the beauty in front of her and just immerse herself in it. And so she plunged into the water and just let herself float on the surface. And she felt lighter than she'd felt in a long time. And she found herself swimming away from anything that had been holding her back. And when she got into enough of a distance away from everything, in a place where she felt very safe, she realized that she could choose now to go any direction she wanted. If she wanted, she could go back, pick up the load that she'd been carrying, or if she wanted, she could try moving in a new direction, leaving that behind. And then she had another thought. She thought, how would anybody know if I go back and smash everything up into pieces until it's so broken apart that it becomes like the sand, and I could just bury it there? And is there anything that you've been carrying that you would like to put down or smash up or just leave behind you now? You can go ahead and deal with that. And now, when you're ready and you've finished dealing with whatever you need, you can just start to move back to this time. Letting go of anything that you don't need to bring back with you now. And coming back with this feeling of whatever the message is that you can choose to do, whatever makes you feel better now. And when you feel ready, You can open your eyes and return to this time and place.